about Newcastle, and you could tell that in the last 3 seasons they've gotten to the Wembley Stadium twice. First against Manchester United 2 seasons ago, where they lost by 2-0, and yesterday they actually came out firing on all cylinders to defeat Liverpool Football Club by 2-1. But for Liverpool, it has not been the best of 7 days for them, from being dumped out of the UEFA Champions League by Paris Saint-Germain and also losing yet another final. And the question now is, can Liverpool Football Club, are they going to bottle the English Premier League, where Arsenal were in action yesterday and they defeated Chelsea Football Club by 1-0. Makeshift striker Mikel Merino of Spain, it was the one who scored the only goal in the first half of that encounter to definitely give Arsenal maximum 3 points and cut the gap at the top of the standings to just 12 points. Yes, 12 points is quite a lot for Liverpool Football Club to let go of in order not to win the English Premier League title. But we go to Spain also this lovely morning. We talk about the result of game that went down there at the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium yesterday. Atletico de Madrid 2. FC Barcelona 4. Well, what a second half that was from Barcelona Football Club, scoring 4 goals after Julian Alvarez and Alex Solot gave Atletico de Madrid the lead in that game. But Ferran Torres, Lamine Yamal, Robert Lewandowski, they were the heroes for Barcelona Football Club yesterday. And then, in the same vein, another result of game there in Germany, Stuttgart 3. That's Bayer Leverkusen 4 there in the German Bundesliga, and they reduced the points at the top of the standings also to just 6 points. And you could tell that the German Bundesliga, Harry Kane, well, is he going to win a trophy this season? Just like it's looking like that is going to be cancelled this season. But just 6 points. What is the way forward for Bayern Munich at the top of the standings of the German Bundesliga? And we go to the Italian Serie A as well, where games went down yesterday. Napoli 0, Venezia 0. That was the results they got. They have 61 points. But there in Bergamo, it was Atlanta 0, Inter Milan 2. Well, of course, for Inter Milan, they now have a 3-point advantage at the top of the standings of the Italian Serie A, where the leader by 64 points, while Napoli has 61 points, and for Atlanta Football Club, they have 58 points. In France as well, there was an abandoned game due to crowd violence, but for that's Paris Saint-Germain, Ousmane Dembele, well, he was on target for Paris Saint-Germain as they defeated Marseille by 3-1 also yesterday. But outside of some beat of football stories, we'll talk about tennis on the show this lovely morning, as well as what we talk about Formula One, the Australian that's a Grand Prix that we saw over the course of the weekend from that's McLaren. They were the one who won. That's the first day, and of course the first race for the 2025 season. So we have all of these lined up for us on today's edition of the program right here on 32 FM 94.9, and the program is covered in 15. Well, all right, on the Smart Kids Show, I made mention that the Super Eagles of Nigeria players are going to converge in camp just ahead of those 2 games in which we will be playing against Rwanda, first in Rwanda, and against Zimbabwe here in Nigeria. What is the way forward for the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Eric Chell and his backroom staff, they are already in camp, and they are expecting players to come in their numbers to definitely see to the significance of this game. Remember that the Super Eagles of Nigeria, we are not where we are supposed to be. We have just 1 point from 4 games played in the bid to qualify for the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup, set to be hosted by the United States of America, Mexico, and Canada. So for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, let's see how things turn out for us when the players come in camp, and of course they take on to the field of play. But we have our partners standing by. That's the BBC for the BBC Premier League update, where of course we'll listen to what they have for us from the reactions of the games that went down yesterday, starting from Manchester United also defeating Leicester City by 3-0. Alejandro Garnacho, Rasmus Højlund, and Bruno Fernandes were on target for the Red Devils. For the Red Devils yesterday, they are at the King Power Stadium, and for Tottenham Hotspur, they lost by 2-0 to the hands of Fulham. Ryan Sessegnon and Rodrigo Muniz were the goal scorers. Like I said, for Arsenal, they defeated Chelsea Football Club by 1-0. Mikel Merino was the goal scorer, and the biggest one that went down there at the Wembley Stadium. Newcastle 2. Liverpool Football Club 1. Let's join our partners, the BBC Premier League update, to take a listen to what they have for us. But by the way, you are listening to the voice of Oluwatimileye SAMIES on the program this lovely morning, the BBC Premier League update.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm John Wilkinson at the BBC Sports Centre. Newcastle United have won their first domestic trophy for 70 years, beating Liverpool 2-1 at Wembley to win the Carabao Cup. Dan Burn headed them ahead and Alexander Isak doubled their lead. Federico Chiesa came off the bench to score a late consolation goal for Liverpool, but an equaliser would have been harsh on Newcastle, who hugely deserved their win. Eddie Howe was a proud man and a wet man, having been drenched with champagne.
So pleased with the players, under a lot of pressure today, under a lot of spotlight. Of course, the length of time that we haven't won for. Oh no.
Liverpool will have to lift themselves from defeats in the Champions League last 16 and the EFL Cup final when the Premier League returns after the international break. Their lead is down to 12 points after Arsenal beat Chelsea 1-0 at the Emirates. Mikel Arteta says the result could have been more emphatic, but 3 points was everything.
We didn't concede anything apart from that strange save from David in the first half against the team that, in my opinion, are the best attacking team in the league. And we scored the goal. We had so many big opportunities and big open chances to finish many more actions than we did actually. But overall, a very important game that is going our way.
Cole Palmer didn't play in the defeat, and the Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca says he's likely to miss England's World Cup qualifying games against Albania and Latvia with a muscular injury. Nottingham Forest's Morgan Gibbs-White has been added to the squad. Fulham had a 2-0 win over Tottenham, whose hugely inconsistent and disappointing campaign continued. For Fulham, though, they're up to 8th and very much in contention for European qualification. Here's their boss, Marco Silva.
We are fighting for something that, first of all, was our goal from the beginning of the season. We are not going to promise nothing, no one. We know what we're capable to do, but you know the type of competition that we have in front of us. The fight is there, the possibility is there, and we are going to face every single game like the most important game.
Leicester City, meanwhile, remain in deep trouble in the Premier League relegation zone. They lost at home to Manchester United. The Premier League returns on Tuesday the 1st of April with Arsenal against Fulham, Wolves versus West Ham and Nottingham Forest taking on Manchester United. For more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
All right, so they listened to the BBC. That's the BBC Premier League update on the show this lovely morning. But let's move away from a bit of football stories and talk about Formula One, where the start of the season there in the world of that F1 driving on the circuit. We had Lando Norris, he converted a pole position into a hard-fought win during the 2025 season opening Australian Grand Prix, which featured mixed weather conditions, multiple crashes, safety cars, and a late race downpour that caused huge drama for INT'L. This man had his punishment, but yesterday he was reinstated into fourth position. But for Lewis Hamilton, where a lot of us wanted to see how he's going to fare in his first race under new constructors, the Ferrari. He finished the 10th. Lando Norris of the McLaren was first. Max Verstappen of the Red Bull, three-time champion, back to back. He came second. George Russell of the Mercedes, third. And then we have Kimi Antonelli finishing fourth, while we have Alexander Albon finishing fifth. But then you talk about Lewis Hamilton, like I said, he finished 10th. That was in the race that went down in the early hours of Sunday. That was the Australian Grand Prix. So what do you expect in the coming days there in the world of Formula One? Well, definitely you know that the races are coming in thick and faster for that's the drivers. What we talk about Formula One. All right, so let's move away from that and talk about a bit of tennis stories as well. We talk about the Indian Wells, where Jack Draper, the British man, he defeated Denmark's Garoon 6-6 to collect the biggest title of his career, with a place in the top 10. Assured for the first time. And then you talk about the ATP Masters, where we have English boys who have won it. That's British boys. We have Andy Murray, he has won it 14 times. Cam Norrie won. Tim Enman won. Greg Rusedski won. And Jack Draper 1. Well, you tell that he has joined the elite company, where, of course, he suffered a lingering hip issue this year, but looked fine as it zipped around the court with ease. We're firing 21 winners to cap up a superb week there in California. And talk about the female, that's the WTA as well. It was Mira Andreeva who fought back to defeat world number 1 Arina Sabalenka 2-6, 6-4, 6-3, winning the second WTA 1000 level event in a row to keep her charm the year on track. And you talk about the rankings as well. She just keeps getting her eye. That's on the rankings. Well, we talk about tennis stories. Well, you tell that for Mira Andreeva, let's see how she can definitely fare on in the coming days in the world of Formula One. Remember that in the month of May, we would have the Roland Garros. That's the French Open, and we expect to see how she fares. Well, all right, we have NPFL stories, but we won't be able to take that on the show this lovely morning. But for Nigeria under-17 women's national team, they moved a step closer to the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup after selling a 2-0 victory over South Africa in Ekene, securing a commanding 5-1 aggregate win in their second round qualifier. Harmony Chidi and Aishat Anima Shamu were on target for the Flamingos. But we will go now. We'll come later in the afternoon. That's a Scoreboard Reloaded. Hopefully myself and Peter would be here, including Blessing, where of course she has been talking about flowers. She called it 2-1 victory for Newcastle on Friday, the last time we were here. So we'll definitely take a listen to how she does it comfortably to call this shot. That's for the beautiful game of football. Thanks so much to everyone who has joined us on today's edition of the program. Till we meet again by 3:30 on Scoreboard Reloaded. I am SAMIES, your sports captain. Up next is Baba Vendo. Do enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now.